What's up, everybody? It's your boy Walking Mandu. We're back here at Wrenchtrenchers Garage, and I just couldn't let this beautiful day go to waste. I know it's been a little while since I've been out in the shop. I got bit by the lazy monster a little bit, so unfortunately I wasn't out here working on the cars. But because I wasn't working on the cars does not mean I wasn't working on something. So if you guys follow my Instagram, you probably know that I have an apparel store, an online apparel store through Zazzle.com. So 100% thank you, Grant7, for telling me about Zazzle. It's awesome. All I have to do is design what I want, and then I can put it on pretty much anything I want, and I don't even have to worry about stocking. I don't have to worry about coming up with a way for payment. It's all done right there for you. And it's probably the most awesome thing I've ever had to deal with. So thank you so much for thank you so much, Grant7, for telling me about that. But the next thing we're gonna go ahead and do, guys, is I'm going to go ahead and get some more stuff done on the Mustang. I don't know how much I can get done, but I'm gonna try to get done as much as I can. I don't really have a whole lot of time, even though it's bright and sunny outside. I work at night, so there's only so much of this daylight I can actually use. And yeah, I got a little bit of the lazy monster on me today too, so it came out a little late. However, I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm going to go ahead and see what I can get done, and we'll go ahead and call it whenever I have to call it. So first of all, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys some of the parts that Mr. Gunn brought over for the vehicle, and then I'm going to go right into what I'm about to fix, which is the e-brake cable. So but unfortunately I don't have my tripod for the GoPro, so you guys are gonna have to go on a little ride on the old headgear. But first I want to show you guys what he brought. I'm gonna show you guys what I'm going to be working with, and then I'm gonna get under this car and see what I can do about fixing his e-brake. So I'll be right back. Alright guys, well, as you can see, we have a set of cylinder head gaskets here. Felpro, pretty much the same ones that we got from before. Well, actually they're the exact same ones that we got before. They worked before, they'll work again. They're made for high performance, so these should work just perfect, just dandy. What I also got over here is a center force clutch. Well, all I had him do was get the actual clutch plate, because the pressure plate is actually in decent shape. It didn't have a whole lot of miles on it, but for some reason his other clutch plate just started falling apart. So I went ahead and had him get another one. We're going to use the same pressure plate. We're going to put this on, and we're going to put it on this magnificent transmission, and we're going to see what happens after that. These parts are still sitting here. They're almost ready for paint. This guy is almost ready for paint. But before I do any painting, there's one more part that I kind of want to mess with before I get into all that. So what we have here is a Dorman brake cable for the e-brake. Now the idea is to see if I can get his emergency brakes working, so he doesn't have to keep the car in gear when he's on hills or stuff, which could very well do damage to the transmission, putting way too much stress on it. I hope that's pretty clear for you guys. But anyway, that's what I'm about to do. Alright, so here, as you can see, we have two e-brake cables. This one has a sheathing on here, maybe a heat shield, depending on where that one has to go. I'll be determining where that one goes. So this car uses two e-brake cables, and I'm guessing it connects right in here somewhere. So I'm gonna have to start tearing some stuff apart, getting in there, and determining how I'm going to put these e-brake cables on. Some people say there may be some welding required, but we got the old Hobart, so that might work. We're gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna go and get started. You guys are gonna go on the old head cam there, because like I said, I cannot find my tripod anywhere, and we're gonna see if we can work this out. So see you in a bit. Alright guys, well, this is gonna seem a little bit gross, but because of the extreme moisture in the air lately, and how long the car's kind of been sitting in here. Yeah, we got a little mold growing here. It's pretty freaking disgusting that there's just mold. That's mold. I don't think that's... It's like a combination of the dust from the sanding and it's mold. It's disgusting. So I'm gonna mask up and I'm gonna spray this car down and wipe this stuff off. And yeah, then we'll get started. So yeah, see you in a bit. Yeah, so it looks like we figured out why this thing wasn't holding. It is completely ripped out of the metal here. So yeah, there's gonna be some welding. I'm gonna have to cut some stuff back and I'm gonna have to move some stuff. But first things first, this whole thing just looks really... This whole thing looks like a real shit show altogether. So let's see if I can't just rip this whole mechanism out of here one way or another and see what I can do. So I'm gonna mess with it some more and I'll see you in a bit. Sorry about the sound quality, but I'm just gonna work with the GoPro while I'm under here. The other camera is just a little too large to be messing with it. So from underneath you can totally see right here there's a definite hole like we saw from up top, and this little guy is preventing this whole thing from sliding out. And since it is already broken anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut that off and then pull the whole mechanism out and see if I can make some room so I can, I guess, weld a piece of metal right in here. And then this guy is on there. Maybe I can find a way to maybe take the other one like this and weld it on here some way somehow. And then at least you'll be able to reattach this thing. And as far as this little number is concerned, I'm going to have to figure that thing out. But first I need to take this thing out of here so I know what I'm looking at. So I'm gonna do that and I'll see you. Well guys, as you can see, I got this guy out, and it appears that this guy is supposed to be here somewhere holding this whole thing in. This is no good, so I'm gonna have to get rid of all of this, and I guess we're just gonna have to have new cables. So I have to figure out how to get that out of there, which I'm pretty sure just pushes from the other side. But here's the dilemma. Well, first things first, this big gaping hole here is where this was, and somehow got ripped out of there. You see, it kind of just fits right down in there. So there's a huge gap around the whole thing, even though it does kind of stay put. That's not real cool. So the idea is to make a slightly larger plate than this piece right here that holds the threads. So the idea is to put that here and make a small cut, maybe about 1/4 inch all the way around to give it like a backing plate, and then drill a hole dead in the center of it that's larger than the thread holes for this, so that the bolt can slide right down to this and bolt it all together. And I got some pretty decently thick plate here, so that's what I'm going to be using to weld to the inner panel. I got some slightly thinner stuff, but this is more like sheet metal, and I don't know if that's even going to work, so I don't plan on using that. But as you see, I also got this cable off the mechanism here. It's kind of like how a throttle body works, I suppose, where it just loops into the hole and loops around, and then it uses tension to activate. But I gotta find another one of these. What came in the kit that he got me, well, as you can see, neither side activates like a throttle body does, and there's nothing in the boxes to help out. So or I'm gonna have to find the right part or have them order it or something to get that where it needs to be. So I'm gonna go inside, I'm gonna do a little research, and then I'm going to bed because I am really tired and I have to work tonight. So I'm not gonna end it here, but I'm gonna end it for today. So see you next time. What's up, everybody? It's the following day, and today I've made myself a little makeshift table, welding table. I know I need a real one, but this is what I got. This is what I'm gonna use. And as you can see, I'm in a big open area because I moved the Z outside because sparks are gonna start flying. Yeah, maybe not a whole lot of sparks, but enough for me to take a few precautions here. So anyway, what we got going on is I got the Hobart. It hasn't been set up yet. So what I'm gonna do first is get this thing set up, and we're gonna do a little bit of welding. I'm gonna do a little practice with this welder first, since I don't know what I'm doing with it just yet. So I'm gonna set it up. I'm gonna get a little bit of practice with it. You guys stick around and watch the fun. Well, guys, I'm having a problem. It won't feed the wire through. I'm getting a click, but nothing's happening. So I don't know. I've been on the phone with the customer support a little bit, and they're supposed to be calling me back. So I really don't know what's about to happen. So it kind of sucks because I was hoping to be building this bracket piece today, and I've been out here for way too long. So once again, another day down the tubes, unfortunately, but won't give up. We're gonna try again. So guess I'll see you guys on this weekend. Hey, what's up guys? It's the next day, and as you can see, the old Hobart is not around anymore. I ended up putting it on my truck, putting it in my truck so that I can go have it fixed. I think I gave you the lowdown on it last time, but if I didn't, basically I ended up on the phone with Hobart, and I ended up just being able to find a place that may be able to either repair it or replace it. It's within the 3-year manufacturer's warranty. So they're telling me that if I bring it out there, they can get it fixed and it should be no charge to me, which is pretty awesome. But it is still off to a bad start as far as taking a brand new welder out of the box and it not working, so that kind of sucks. But anyhow, aside from all that, the good news is that I do have a backup welder. It's not the welder I wanted to use, however, I have used it. It does work, so that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to make the brackets for this Mustang. Alright guys, so the first thing I did was I drilled a hole in a piece of metal for this to go through, and then I can cut around that, and that should give me a little lip that I can weld to the inside of the vehicle. So I'm gonna go ahead and weld this to the plate. It's just it's 20 gauge, I believe. Cut it out and see if it'll work inside the vehicle. So that's what I'm doing now. And just to make sure it all fits. So obviously I need to make that just a little bit bigger. Alright, so that works. Alright guys, well it's the following day. Yesterday I ended up going to Springfield to check on what was going on with my welder. I ended up taking it all the way up there, and I tell you, the guy called me back like 20 minutes later just to say, hey, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. So I drove all the way back again after I dropped it off, drove home, took care of a few chores, and came back, picked it up, brought it back to the shop again, and once again it's not really working. So that tells me that there's something wrong maybe with the electricity in the shop, probably not the right voltage or something silly. So I got an electrician. He's supposed to be coming by tomorrow, and we'll see what he can come up with that. As for the time lapse that you probably just saw, basically what I was doing is I was building this thing. Basically it's the nut capture that fell out of the vehicle before. What I did is I just kind of welded a plate to it, and we're going to weld the whole plate back into the vehicle, so that way we have a bolt capture. So just to give you a little close-up of it, there you go. So here's the little bolt capture that I made. I'm gonna have to trim it down just a little bit more, but basically it's just gonna go right in where it was ripped out the first time for the e-brake. I'm gonna weld that in, but first I have to remove a whole bunch of stuff from out of the vehicle, and I'm not gonna be doing a whole lot of talking. I'm just gonna go ahead and work, so just enjoy the time lapse. See you in a bit. Alright folks, well here is the finished product. My welds are a little ugly, so I went ahead and ground that down so you wouldn't see the boogers. But it is welded in nice and solid. The bolt goes all the way in. The e-brake handle does actually fit in there correctly. I already tested it. And I also used, just to make sure that this thing's in there solid, I just kind of used, let me show you. Drill that down in there like so, and then I'm testing it with this guy here, and you kind of pull around on all the sides of this to make sure it doesn't pop up anywhere. So as you can see, barely see that, basically before the weld breaks, this whole thing is actually flexing. So it's actually really welded into the body very well. So I'm pretty happy about that. It's all done. This was kind of the job that I was just kind of dreading messing with. Well, there you have it, guys. The car has not burnt down. I didn't burn anything. However, the method I used, it was a little sketchy. So sorry Eric, I had to do it this way. I couldn't get your front driver's seat out because there's no power to the car, so I couldn't move it back to get to the bolt. So basically I just kind of covered it with a bunch of material to make sure it's not going to get burned, and nothing got burned. Your car's still there, nothing's on fire, we're good. I didn't show everything, the whole way that I ended up putting welding in that bolt capture, because it was kind of sketchy. I don't want anybody to do it the way I did it, because it's not ideal. I don't want anybody getting hurt. I don't want anybody, damaging property or anything like that. That doesn't mean that I'm not saying deter you from trying something new or trying something or doing something that's, maybe a little bit risky. I'm just saying I don't want to put any content on my channel that may potentially hurt somebody, so I'm just going to leave it there. But once again, thanks guys for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Also, don't forget to visit my store. It's in the link in the description. I'll also leave it right here for you just in case. Right there. Yeah, right there. There you go. So, we're going to put that there. Thank you guys. Don't forget, keep wrenching, and wrench trench out.